Today we're talking about getting ready to sell your home. There are a few important things to know, and Melissa, why do you take us through those things?
Okay, well, first I will say spring market is generally the best market, specifically in Chicagoland, but probably really everywhere. It's definitely the best time to sell your property. So, you're get ready to sell your home. One of the things I encourage, I'm not like my other realtors. I don't really like people to make a bunch of big improvements in order to sell their home. Smaller things, some landscaping, some painting, maybe you change a countertop or a vanity in your bathroom, but the National Association of Realtors does a cost to value analysis every year, and they will tell you that nothing will give you 100% back from what you spent, and nothing goes over 100% for sure. I think 90-some is the best you're gonna get on a return. So if you're spending money to fix up your home, you're not gonna get all that money back. Now, you might sell the home faster, and if that's valuable to you, that is something you might want to think about.
Okay, so maybe not so smart to redo a kitchen to sell your home.
I don't think so.
But there might be some things to do?
Well, certainly, like I said, smaller cosmetic repairs. If there is a leak that you fixed, but you never painted the water damage, please take care of that now. Or some trim you've neglected to finish. Those are the little projects you do want to get completed. Like if you have carpet, maybe you take up some of the carpet, but I wouldn't refinish the floors, because that's a big project. If something is broken, you might have to fix it, particularly if it's a major component to your home, because it's going to really affect your loan for your future buyer if something's not working, like a heating system or a stove, and then you're just reducing your buyer pool. So those are things you really do need to deal with, but if it's something that just is going to look prettier, I don't think it's worth spending the money.
So what's your take on selling as is?
I'm not a big fan of that either. I mean, there's a lot of evidence that you will get less money if you sell your home as is, and it's probably not necessary. If you're in a competitive market and you price it right and you get people really interested, you might end up with an as-is sale, regardless of whether or not you've listed it that way. And I think as is to buyers says, oh, there's something wrong with the home. Whether that's true or not, that's what they hear when they hear as is.
And also, the buyer might feel less protected in that situation, right?
Right, yes. And there is some reality to that. But like I said, I think it's better, unless there's really a reason for it, it's better not to go as is.
Okay, good tips. What else do you need to do?
My biggest number one tip is purge. Get rid of at least a third of your stuff. And I'm serious about this, a third. Because you don't want to make it look like your home is overflowing in any way. You don't want stuff on top of your refrigerator. You don't want closets that are busting out of themselves. You don't want 7 couches in your living room. Honestly, you don't even want 2 couches in your living room. I mean, the reality is you want it to look like there's all this space in your home. You don't want a buyer to walk in and think, where am I going to put my stuff? There's no room. These cabinets are already full. You want it to look like, sure, maybe they have more dishes than you do, but that doesn't matter. They're going to see what's in front of them when they're touring the home.
I see. So what's your feeling on staging?
Well, conversely to getting rid of a third of your stuff, having a completely empty house is not ideal either, because it really does make the house look smaller. When you're in an empty room, your eye really needed something to bounce it off of in order to get proportions right. And if there's nothing in there, it's just going to assume it's a smaller room. So a little couch and a little coffee table actually make a room look bigger than 0 furniture. So I do like professional staging. I actually really recommend, if you're going to spend money, that's the one place to spend it. Whether it's them coming in and helping you zhuzh up what you have and telling you what pieces to get rid of. Maybe you need to buy 5 new things, or maybe they can rent you a few pieces. Or if the property is vacant, going the whole boat and getting it professionally staged. The buyers are really gonna feel the high quality, posh look that's in there, and it's going to make a difference on how they see the property. Whether or not they have posh furniture, that doesn't matter. It's what they see when they go in there. I've done it many times where the staging really makes a difference.
And so I imagine the photography is important here, right?
Yes, and photography is something I include when I'm helping someone sell a home, and also a floor plan. But these are also things where you really want to put your best foot forward for the photographs. I mean, people don't really understand this, but when we're doing photography for homes, we're running through the house, hiding things, tucking things in corners, making sure the blinds are at the right angles. Everything has to be looking really pretty.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So where do you come down on price? How do you do pricing?
So that really is an individual situation for each homeowner, but realtors, all the best realtors, are going to do a comparative market analysis for your home. That's where they're going to find comps, and these are things that have sold in the last 2 to 4 months ideally, and they should be similar to your property and within about a mile radius, mile 2.5. So those comps are going to give us an idea of what house values are in your particular area, and based on those, we're going to try to pick a price that we think will sell your home. Now, right now in Chicagoland, in spring of 2025, it is seller's market, okay? So it seems a little counterintuitive, but you're actually better off listing undervalue than overvalue. I like to put it this way. I'm a buyer on the internet looking at homes, and I can spend up to $650,000. So I'm looking at all these homes that are 6, maybe even 7. And then I see a house that's really cute, has everything I want, and it's listed for $620. I'm like, whoa, that's a huge bargain. I need to go see that house right away. Now a whole bunch of buyers are doing that, okay? And you probably got a couple of buyers that can't spend over $6 who see your house too, and they think maybe, just maybe I could get it for a little bit cheaper. Now you try and set it up so all these people have to come together to an open house. They're all looking at each other. Nobody knows what anybody else can spend. They are just seeing that there's 20 other people there and getting panicky. So if your realtor is organizing things correctly, that's how you can really get a bidding war going. And when you get a bidding war going, you might actually go over asking price, or not over asking price, over value of what the home is worth. And this is where you might also suddenly get an as-is sale out of the deal.
Wow, these are really good tips, and I like how you work that psychology of the buyer throughout your process.
Yes, my old boss used to say to me, real estate is all head games, and she's right.
This is really great information, Melissa. How can people get in touch with you?
Well, they can certainly go to my website, arthousechicago.com. I mean, every sale is different, so I really would like to talk to people, go through their house, see what they need, and do a comparative market analysis before they sell.
This is great. I hope people found this useful, and we'll see you in the next one.